everybody. Doug Munro here. And so the lesson that we did today was a little example of just taking the simplest of the simple and trying to solo with it. And what I did here was I took the basic C major scale, which hopefully everybody knows. It's just the white keys on the piano, and it's the notes from C to C. C, D, E, F, G, A, B, C. So I took them as my source material and tried to improvise just using those notes. Now, the first thing you need to know on any improvisation is what are the chord changes, because everything I did was in the key of C, so I demonstrated I could just use a C scale, but that doesn't really sound like a solo. I'll get into that. But I wanted to go over the chord changes first. So what I did was I did a C major 7. And what I did was I went C major 7, E minor 7, D minor 7, F major 7, to A minor 7, then D minor 7 to G7, C, and then a G sus to a G. And that's the A section. And then in the bridge, I go using chords that outline A minor. B half diminished, E minor 7, A minor 7. Then to the 5. And then the last A section is like the first one. Another thing that you've probably noticed by now is I'm playing a different kind of guitar here. I'm playing a Dan Electro Baby sitar. And if you're interested in learning more about this, I'm going to be doing a live stream. It might already be up by the time you see this video. And you can go over there and check out everything there is to know about this cool little guitar from Dan Electro. All right, so now let's get back to what we were doing. So in the beginning, I literally start out playing a C major scale. Then I go down. And then what I tried to do was go from the lowest note I could possibly find in a C major scale, which is E, and I went all the way up till I ran out of notes in the C major scale. So that was the very first thing I did, just to show the C major scale all across the neck. So for you guitar players out there, and piano players, and any instrument, wind instruments, brass, other stringed instruments, you need to learn, if you're going to play out of a scale, you got to know the scale in more than just one position. You have to know it in every position, everywhere on your instrument, everywhere on your horn. So that's the first thing you got to do. And that's no easy task, really. To really know your scales takes a lot of work, and it takes a lot of practice. So make sure you do that. Now, assuming that you've done that, and you can, the next thing that you need to do is make music out of these. Now, what I tried to do was show you that you can make music rhythmically, you can make music thematically, you can also make music following the chord changes. And so I tried to do some of that, and I really tried not to ever add a note or play a note that is not in a C scale. I think once I played a G sharp once in all those courses that I took, but I really tried not to play any note that was not in the C major scale. So if we're talking about rhythm, I actually start with rhythm. I didn't just go. Even when I was just playing the scale, I didn't just, play it straight like that. There was like some rhythm. right? So right away, I'm playing some kind of repeated rhythmic pattern. Something that I find with a lot of young improvisers, or maybe improvisers in general sometimes, is that they're not listening to sort of what they're playing. So there's no sort of repetition or development in their themes because they're just sort of spitting stuff out randomly and it's never tied together. And that sort of gives the effect to the listener of not really knowing what's going on. You can't really follow what's happening. So being able to play a rhythmic pattern is very important. At one point, I did a major pentatonic scale, and I think I did. And so there, those are triplets, and I did them in groups of 4. So there was a rhythmic and melodic pattern happening at the same time. Other simple patterns that you could do would be playing in thirds. You can also do pedaling. And actually I'm cheating there. I'm playing an F sharp. So if I really wanted to not cheat, or I could just play the pedal and not just. And you'll notice that on my right hand, if I come over here, on my right hand here, you could see that I am using a hybrid picking, which I do a lot of. So I pick and then I use my second finger. You could also do the whole thing with picking. So I use hybrid. You could use whatever you like. Another thing, let's see, what else did I do? I did a pedal on the top. And this sounds awesome, but it's just a major scale. Other things that I do are finding the notes going across the fret. Let's see. There you go. So I'm using all the notes that are in the C scale, but I'm sort of doing this like pattern of going up a fourth, down, above the note, to that note, going up a fourth. Then here I go up a third. And then you could start anywhere and try and do that. If I started on E and I wanted to do all the notes in C. So again, you could just come up with these patterns. So I did that. Obviously a lot of thematic playing. Another great thing to do is to sing your solo. When I used to do clinics, I didn't do them, I took them at a place called Sounds of Joy in New York City. John Castellano ran that. And one of the things that we did an hour of reading and an hour of improv. And in the improv, whoever the instructor was would have us sing our solos. And for somebody like me that doesn't have a lot of vocal range, it was quite challenging. But what I really learned was to breathe and phrase. That's what singing your solos really helps you do. So you have to stop. You got to take a breath. So it forces you to help your phraseology and what you're doing. And plus, singing, you really are trying to sing on your instrument, make it sing. And so I was doing that. And notice I didn't do like any double stops, I didn't do any chords. I really just tried to stick with the C major scale. So remember, rhythm, and of course phrasing, and patterns, melodic patterns, and pedaling on the bottom, pedaling on the top, different kind of sequences and thematic stuff. All these things will help your improv. And of course, the ultimate thing is transcribing. Pretty much everything I learned was through transcribing. Because remember, when you learn how to speak, you basically learn words, you learn how to speak, and then you learn about the alphabet and words. So don't put the alphabet first, like the C major scale wasn't invented and then music was invented. They were making music using these notes and then they codified it. And so look at it that way, that, you've got to take this and make music from it. When I hear people play and they're literally just playing like scale, everything sounds like scales. To me, it's kind of like gibberish where they're not really saying anything because they're not taking these scales and organizing them into language. It could be the language of blues. It could be the language of classical music. It could be the language of bluegrass. Rock, hard rock, bebop, bossa nova. To me, these are all sort of languages. And within those languages are, of course, dialects. Same thing with like gypsy jazz and just everything. So when you're, practicing and learning these styles, you need to develop vocabulary, and you get that through transcription. So I guess that's enough for today. I think that's a good amount of stuff for you to think about and work on. So watch for that video. I'm going to do a stream on this crazy little axe here that I really dig. And until next time, peace, and don't forget to subscribe. Thanks.